commercial breaks with Miseducation. That's me, Miseducation. All right, so yeah, last episode, I try not to get emotional, but I'm a crybaby, so that's what it was. But I want to continue with that whole transformation and what that means, right? So what that transformation looked and looks, because I'm still transforming, is right. It's an ongoing process. Like I said, like I've said in earlier videos, like things have just changed in my life overnight. In the blink of an eye, God touched and delivered me, and as a result, I see things differently. I walk differently. I am a different creature. And here's what, I had a conversation with one of my sisters, and she was like, Jen, I don't know if I know you. Like, I don't know how to interact with you. And I get it, because I myself am trying to figure out who I am, because I'll do things. I'm like, did I just do that? Did I just say that? Did I just publicly speak? Like, am I doing this right now? These commercial breaks, am I still doing this? I'm on episode 41. This was not the plan, right? I didn't see past, like I said, I didn't see past 12 or 15. And here we are. So yeah, this transformation, it's big for me. I'm still figuring it out. But here's what I explained to my sister with this transformation and who I am. And I think the conversation was largely based on like even our political views. Like my political view has changed. And I am not ashamed of it, right? I went from being super liberal and wokish, right? On a political lens or landscape, right? I was liberal and wokish, and I'm not. This is what it is. I am conservative, and I've woken up to Jesus. That's just what it is. And here's why, and here's how I explained it. And I am not ashamed of it. I will not be ashamed of it. For over 20 years, I have been struggling with this demon, right? And I didn't know it was a demon, but now that I know what it is, I call it by. I've been struggling this for 20 years. I was in a dark place, but no one could see it. No one could see, because I presented very well, right? I was a mom, a wife, a teacher, a daughter. I was savior to the world. I had a smile on my face. But in those moments when I was left alone, all I did was cry. In the shower, I cried. In my car, I was crying. The only time I cried publicly was in church, because the presence of God, I don't know, I just cried. All I did was cry. Because I was begging God to take this from me. Whatever it was, I didn't know what it was, but I knew something wrong. And I can't remember. We're 41 episodes in. I don't know what I've told you about myself, but since little, I have been attempting to end my life. At a young age, because not fully understanding what it was, I would put the fitted sheet over my head, because I believed that by doing so, I couldn't breathe and I would suffocate. Clearly not true, but that was my attempt to end it. One time I took my aunt's needles, you remember back in the day, they had the little apples and you put all the needles, So I took her needles and I stuck them on the bed and I laid on top of them. Yeah, it hurt, but clearly I'm here. And this was before the age of 8. Okay. I was doing this. And as I got older and I understood how this worked, I got a little more sophisticated in my attempts. Clearly not the will of God, because I'm still here, thank God. That was me. Behind the mask, I was so sad. And I wanted God to take it from me. And it got to a point where I was like, God, take my life. Like, I don't want this anymore, because I can't do this. I cannot keep failing you. I can't keep failing myself, keep failing my family. I am doing things that I don't want to do. You know, I didn't even recognize myself when I was in these moments of possession. I didn't recognize myself, like legit, like no exaggeration. People thought I was being conceited or whatever, but I'd walk through, whenever I walked by and there was anything that had like a reflective character to it where I could see my reflection, there I would look and I would like, oh, because I genuinely did not know who was looking back at me. I would shock myself in these moments. Like when I was possessed, like, and it wasn't like all the time, right? It was on and off. Like it was activated and the switch was on, switch was off. When the switch was on and I would see my reflection, I did not recognize myself. I know how insane that sounds, but I'm genuine. I'm serious when I tell you, I did not recognize myself. And I'd be like, oh, she's cute. Like I would look at myself and be like, oh, she's cute in these moments. And then the light switch would go off, right? And then it would just be me, Jen. I'd be like, oh, there's Jen. But when that switch was on, I did not recognize myself. So when God delivered me last summer, not only did he deliver me from these demons, he delivered me from wanting to end my life. He saved me. And when someone saves you, you owe them. That's just how it is. If right now you found yourself in a situation where you were drowning and I saved you, you would feel obligated to me. Right? This is why when people are in situations when women are in situations where they give birth and it's in an emergency situation, they often name their child after the person who helped deliver the baby, right? Because I need to say thank you. I need to show my gratitude to you. And right now, my gratitude is to God, is to Jesus. Because he saved me. And when God touches you, when God touched me, you can't be the same after God touches you. It's impossible. Like God touching you and remaining the same doesn't make sense. They can't coexist. Light and dark can't coexist. I had to change. And yeah, could I have changed 30 degrees, 90 degrees? Of course. But God saved my life. So I did a 180, or I am doing a 180. I choose 180. And I might not be at 180 yet, but I'm going to get there. And again, I taught math, right? A 360, you start here, 360, you end back where you started. A 180 is the opposite direction of where you started. And I was living in a state of demonic possession. And God delivered me. So you better believe I'm doing a 180. I no longer want to face the way of the enemy. 10 toes down for Jesus Christ. Because he saved me. That's what it is. That's what happened to me. And as a result, commercial breaks with miseducation. As a result, I'm walking on faith. I'm walking on faith. I have been sitting on 2 books. I know the episode about my lottery ticket. I've been sitting on these books and I now put them out there and I'm like, God, your will be done. Your will be done. Your will has always, is, and will forever be done. And you've inspired me to do this. And would I love to put out these books and make a whole bunch of money and not have to work a traditional 9-to-5? Of course. Are you kidding me? Of course. And that was part of my motivation at the beginning. But now, after being touched and being transformed, I want to put these books out. And if it just one life, if one soul turns and says, here I am, right? If one soul accepts Jesus Christ, then yeah, the book is worth it. And then I'm like, this is not my book. This is God's book. These are God's books, and he does with it as he will. So that's where I am in my life. Take it or leave it, love it or hate it. I'm still working on it because there are some truths that I have to come out and speak on that I know will be the result of me losing some, or having to end some friendship, or losing some friends who can't co-sign with me. I don't think this would happen, but there's a fear that I might have, that I would lose like close family, friends. I don't know. I don't want to lose anyone. On the contrary, I want to bring people in to find this Jesus. Yeah. And I'm not going to cry because we're not doing that today. Not this time. But I genuinely want everyone to be free, to be delivered from this. Whatever this is, whatever your this is. Mine was a sexual demon. But there are others, right? There are spirits that take us alcohol, illicit drugs, food, pornography, whatever it is, whatever you're struggling with right now, whatever has a hold on your life, and no one, whether people know about it, but many times people don't know what we're going through. They don't know. They don't understand or see or know why we cry at night, or in the silence of the darkness. They don't know. Whatever that is, I pray to God that you are delivered from it. And I tell you, my deliverance took time, but it was right on time. God is an on-time God. And it was through, I'm telling you, if I didn't pray, girl, I stayed praying and stayed crying to God. God, if you're out there, you hear me, right? And I know without a shadow of a doubt that he is real and that he's listening. Hey, here we go with these tears. Thank goodness for these glasses. So if whatever you're going through right now, whether you or your kids, whatever, pray over them, pray with them, and don't stop. You know that the acronym PUSH? Pray until something happens, and I promise you, from my lips to God's ears, something will happen, because his words will not return void. And he is not a God to lie or to go back on his promises. So yeah, ooh, the tears. Ooh. We're going to end it here because we're not doing this again. I'm done crying. But again, crying is just an extreme emotion. Right? You cry when you're extra happy, when you're extra sad, when you're extra hurt. So crying is just a manifestation of an extreme emotion. Right now, I am extremely grateful. And so that's this tear right here. This is a grateful tear. Okay, bye. Commercial breaks with Miseducation. Till next time. See you later. Deuces.